So this is the Crown oil-fired boiler. And what I found with this boiler, it was overheating and reading 250 degrees and flashing. Now the problem here was right in there, it's hard to see, this is the sensor that comes out and goes in the well inside to sense the temperature. And that's how this aquastat, which it's called hydrostat, basically aquastat, right, senses the temperature, and based on that, it's firing the burners, the burner, and shutting down and coming back on. Now, that sensor was not set all the way back at the end of the well. That was causing the sensor not to sense the temperature, so it was running almost non-stop. Well, not non-stop, but it was running more than it's supposed to. And here, it says if all the lights, LED lights display are blinking, what you have to do is basically you have to correct the issue first, and you have to turn off the power, press the test button, turn the power back on, and it will reset and it will go to normal operation mode. This is in the manual here for the Crown boiler. But the reason I'm shooting this video is it was brand new equipment installed, and because of sensor was not sitting all the way in the well, it was causing to run this excessively, and the installer would have checked. Now I'm saying would have checked because nobody would go in the well and just you can't see that there. So the manufacturer basically did not stick this sensor all the way in, and the installer, when they finished it, they fired up the boiler, came on. Of course, they can't stay here for 3-4 hours to see if this goes over 250. When at some point probably it reached temperature, and then they said, okay, it's running fine, and they left. There is nothing the installer did wrong, but the reason I'm shooting this video is now on, I believe, whoever watched this video, they have to make sure that this sensor is sitting all the way back to the well and sensing the right temperature. Otherwise, you go back to the manufacturer and they say, they basically don't care, I believe. Well, they probably should care. If anybody watched this video from Crown, they should understand that this is very serious. Whenever they do the quality inspections, this should be all the way in. Now, they may say that somebody pulled this out while wiring this. I don't know. I can't go there. But I do believe that it was done from the manufacturer's side. Somebody did not insert this all the way in. And as we know, the manufacturers actually do not fire these boilers. All they do is water test, right? And everything else is probably done by the employees, just assembling it. They assemble, and before they assemble, they they water test the heat exchanger, the cast iron, and we know that because if you get brand new boiler, a lot of times there's a leftover water in the heat exchanger. So basically everything was done right, except that sensor was not all the way in. Now I'm going to fire up this boiler back on. Actually, what I'm going to do first, I'll turn it off. And this is new design from Beckett, I believe. They have not done this before. So their oil burner is connected like this. Now we're gonna turn it back on and we'll see what happens We already know the temperature is low, pressure is fine, and if the thermostats are calling for heat now, I guess we should have this come on pretty shortly, but let me check the thermostat first. So burner is on right now. We see temperature going 103. Here, temperature is about, this is slow responding, so we got less temperature here. But at some point, I'll make sure that this temperature is kind of very close to that temperature.
And the root and that root gauge should, that the bottom temperature should be
The bottom temperature, that's not temperature actually, that's a pressure, right?
pressure. Okay.
Pressure be between 10 and 15.
Oh, okay.
.127, and the gauge also shows exactly 120. Yeah, it's pretty close. 122, 127. So they do match right now.
Great.
So the 147, the burner shut down, and I'll check what temperature will come back on. 135 came back on, and I'll wait until this cycles and goes up to the set temperature, just to make sure it shuts off at that temperature. And it shut off at 150 basically, so it should be all good to go. At this point, the sensor is actually corresponding the gauge, and it should be up and running fine. Thanks for watching.